Will you tell the court how you feel about Mason Capwell?
Objection. I fail to see what bearing this witness's feelings about Mason Capwell have on this case.
Well, I asked the court to grant the same leeway it did the prosecution.
Objection overruled. Proceed.
The question was, how do you feel about Mason Capwell?
Well, he's been very helpful to us over the years, as you know.
Would you consider Mason Capwell a friend? You're under oath.
I'm very well aware of that.
Apparently it doesn't mean much to you.
You know, I object to the way the counsel is insinuating that the witness is lying before she's even finished or begun a statement.
Objection sustained. Let's get on with Mr. Raymond.
Do you consider Mason Capwell a friend?
Not a close friend, but a friend.
Even though you've been very angry with him for months? I mean, going back even a few weeks before the shooting?
Angry is an exaggeration. I've been annoyed. Mason can be a very difficult man.
Tell us what you mean by his being a difficult man.
He started making demands on me that were unrealistic.
You're being very cryptic. What demands?
David, do you really want me to go into this?
I want you to answer the question.
I'm sorry, this is very strange having to talk to you as a stranger.
Well, I think if you answer the question directly and truthfully, we'll be able to handle that.
Mason desperately wanted me to find a way to keep my marriage together. He believed you were getting involved with his ex-wife, Julia Wainwright, and the thought drove him crazy.
And how did he expect to enforce this demand he was putting on you?
Objection. Calls for a conclusion.
Well, then I'll rephrase the question. Was Mason Capwell blackmailing you?
Your Honor, I have a continuing objection to this line of questioning. Mason Capwell is not on trial here, although you'd never know it.
Careful, Mr. Marley. Mr. Raymond, you have yet to show where this is leading.
Well, Your Honor, I'm almost there if you'll allow me to go on just a little bit further.
Objection overruled, but I'm getting impatient.
Isn't it true that Mason Capwell threatened to expose the affair you were having with Warren Lockridge if you didn't keep your husband away from his ex-wife?
Yes, he made that threat.
How did you react to that?
I found it ironic. He wasn't trying to force me into anything I didn't want. I would have been very happy if my marriage had worked out.
And how did Mason react to that when he didn't see it happening?
Not well. He was disappointed, as was I.
That's all he was?
Well, he became more furious with you. But after all, what was he to do?
What indeed? Sorry, I have to bring up Marilyn. Are you aware that Mason Capwell was conducting an investigation into the circumstances surrounding your sister Marilyn's death?
No, I didn't know anything about that.
Mrs. Raymond, Angela, you know me well enough that I don't bluff, and I am ready to introduce whatever evidence necessary to get to the truth. And I am willing to take the stand myself to tell the jury what they deserve to know.
Damn you, David. What do you want from me?
The truth. My first question. How do you feel about Mason Capwell?
I hated him. He was trying to destroy my life. He's an evil man. Are you satisfied now?
You testified earlier that you weren't with Warren when that shot was fired from the balcony at Mason. Is that the truth?
Yes, it's the truth.
Then you were alone at that moment. Is it possible, given your violent feelings toward Mason, that you pulled the trigger?
Silence in the court.
No, I didn't do it. A lot of people hated Mason. Warren most of all.
Well, it was very convenient for you to lay the murder rap right on him.
How could you do this to me, David? You are still my husband.
You did it yourself, Angela. And you were very, very clever. You assumed that everybody would certainly think that Warren had been the murderer, when you had the means and the opportunity and certainly the strong motive to do it yourself.
Objection! This is outrageous. The defense has accused this woman of murder without any foundation. Your Honor, Mr. Raymond asserts that his estranged wife had the means to shoot Mason Capwell as if anybody could pick up a rifle, aim it, and hit a target hundreds of yards away.
No, not just anyone, but certainly an award-winning marksman and a championship skeet shooter. Isn't that right, Angela? I'll bring in witnesses.
Yes, it's true. I know how to use a gun.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Does the prosecution wish to redirect?
No, Your Honor.
Witness may step down. We'll take a 2-hour recess and then reconvene to hear closing arguments. The court is adjourned.
That was extraordinary, David. Thank you.
David, it's wonderful. It really was.
Good. Well, Warren, it's almost over, huh?
I know.
Well, you risked everything.
There's something wrong.
What is it?
It was too easy.
I think you're being modest. I think you were remarkable.